of you to mispronounce your names and last names. Later we will play how you pronounce my last name. That is much complicated also. So please welcome Patrick from Sweden, who will join us here on the stage. Whenever you're ready, I start.
Thank you for having me. This is my first PechaKucha, as for most of the rest of the speakers. So I'm going to sort of embrace the possibility to fail miserably, I guess. I'm going to talk a little bit about me and things that inspire me and stuff that I do and so forth. So I guess let's start with the personal stuff. I'm from Sweden. I live on a little island outside Stockholm with my family, which is now 4, but in January will be 5. Including the little dog you saw. So I sort of know what to do when I'm not working. And also, it's harder than PechaKucha. And music to me is a tool for nostalgia. It's not inspiration. Every time I listen to music, I travel back in time to the time when I was a little boy sitting under the kitchen table, listening to my parents cook and playing music loud. So it's always been about escape for me. Never truly about happiness in that sense. Poetry, on the other hand, is something that really has stuck to me as a grown-up. I find it sort of like a secret door that opens the heart and the mind at the same time. I love this quote: "Fairy tales are more than true, not because they tell us that dragons are real, but because they tell us they can be beaten." So anyways, back to work. In 2008, working in advertising was pretty fucked up. Subprime crisis had cut our budgets in a few months with 30 to 40%, and the bought channels that we used to use, we couldn't afford them anymore, and we didn't really know what to do. And increasingly, I felt like an overpaid clown, sort of hiding problems with advertising and throwing money on problems instead of using that same money to solve problems. So I was really thinking about really leaving the business and doing something completely different, I guess. Fortunately enough, I hooked up with 8 other sad clowns, and we founded the agency Volontaire with an idea to help companies get customers of their own free will. We shared the same idea of where communication was going at that point. This is 6 years ago, and we said that we've gone from sort of this monologue society with persuasion strategies to this conversation and recommendation society. And we thought a lot about how do you create recommendation through conversation. One thing that we found out early on was that things that happen in the analog world mirrors the conversation, and vice versa. It's a symbiosis. If you can't do one thing without another. But in the advertising industry, we have always focused on the sort of packaging part, the conversation part, and never on the real part, which is proving things in action in the real world. So what is action? I think recently when Tesla released all their patents, not only to the competition, it's brilliant as marketing because it's not only building competition and their market, but it also proves that Tesla is about more things than just selling cars. They have a mission, they have a purpose, they stand for something. And when we sell at Volontaire gender equality issues for one of our clients, Kampmann, which is the biggest trade union in Sweden, we have the chairwoman, Anneli, do a sex change just to prove the point that women, the easiest way for women to get a higher raise is actually to be a man. But that's just the packaging. What we really did, the real idea was this report containing solutions on legislations that would change the way women are paid outside the campaign and outside the project, sort of living in the real world. That was the idea. The rest was just makeup. When we got the assignment to sell Sweden as a progressive country to the rest of the world, proving that we're for sort of this modern new type of democracy, we thought long and hard on how to do this real action. And the most progressive proof we could come up with was to hand over nation branding to ordinary Swedes, so not celebrities or politicians or famous people, but to ordinary Swedes, and hand over the official account to them. And they do that a week at a time without no control or censorship. And it's been ongoing for 3 years now. That project also gave us a clue on the importance of acting with brutal integrity, never to compromise what you're doing, but really, really do it full out, because the effect is the effect of that. But if you chase the effect from the beginning, you will lose out. We sparked a lot of conversations regarding Sweden and democracy and progressivity. Timing is also an issue. It's very smart to connect to the zeitgeist, the things that happen in the outside world. We launched that project a year after the uprising of the Arab Spring, where social media played a huge role, at least perceptionally. So we resonated in that context. And when we helped Sony Mobile to launch a mobile phone for marathon runners and people that like to exercise, we came up with the idea to create a marathon, a solo marathon, where anyone with an Android could run at the same time, but wherever they wanted to, all over the world. So we took it globally. Now, a solo marathon is also a very lonely marathon. So we connected the internet phenomenon known as the Forever Alone guy to the project and had him star in the sort of virals that we did just to promote it. We didn't buy any media at all, 0. After 6 years, one of my conclusions as a volunteer is that it's very smart to begin with your existing fans. They love you, return their love. It's better to convert them to ambassadors and in the end recommenders than to recruit new ones. It's also more sympathetic, I think. And the last sort of reflection is, it's very smart to be simple or lazy. People do good things. Make them do more of the things they do good and less of the things you think would be nice if they did. Use existing sort of behaviors and energies and amplify that. Don't be clever, be lazy. Thank you.